Hello, my name is Daniel Mwankemwa. Today I want to share with you something very important. I want to share with you what Islamic banking would not like you to know. I know some of you are clients with the Islamic banking. Now, in their slogan, when you hear about them, they say Islamic banking is a Sharia finance compliance. And most of the people just focus on the finance, leaving out the word Sharia, which is the first word. While in every single cent in the Islamic banking, they see that coin in the mirror of Sharia. So that very single coin has been put up in Sharia. So everything determines under the Islamic Sharia to that finance or to that saint. And also they propagate that they operate this Islamic banking with the slogan of non-interest banking system. And as we know that other banks they operate with or with interest. So to them, their slogan is non-interest banking system. Of course, if you hear this and you don't go in to see what is inside there, of course you will agree with them, or perhaps you will rush to them knowing that everything will be okay to you. But I think the matter is different. Okay, now let me go back to this Sharia. In Islam, when you say Sharia, Sharia, this is also known as the Islamic law. This has an extension which guides the relationship between a Muslim and a Muslim and the people of the book. When you say the people of the book, these are Jews and Christians. Also guide the relation between a Muslim and a kafir. Kafir is the one who opposes Islam in whatever situation, whatever case. But also guides the relation between a Muslim and a Jahiliya. Jahiliya, we say the people of ignorance. So Sharia has all these to guide the relationship between these groups I've mentioned. Now today in particular, I will stick myself to these two groups, Jews and Christians, especially in connection with this the Islamic banking. As you know that nowadays there's a lot of information about what they call the Islamic economy. They call it Islamic economy because it seems as if they want to start a new system of economy which based in the principle of Islam. But they do not do this by themselves, but also they go beyond the Islamic realm. So that's why they invite non-Muslims to join their economy, but without sharing with them or without giving the inner side of what is going on in their economy, that is Islamic banking. And that's why even nowadays, if you pay a visit to different cities where you find this financial institution, you will see that in these conventional banks nowadays, you can see a portion or what they call Islamic window within the conventional banks. Now the question is, how far the management of the conventional banks know or are conversant with the Sharia, so that they have welcomed the Islamic banking or Islamic economy in their conventional banks. That is number one. Why? Because we see some difficulties. People are facing some difficulties, and even if are not obvious, but inside you see there are something which is going wrong, and that's what I'm going now to shed light. Now let me go back to these Jews and Christians. As I said before, the Sharia speaks something about Jews and Christians. Now I quote the hadith. This is the hadith, the Sahih hadith. That means authenticity hadith from Sahih Muslim, hadith number 2167. Muhammad is quoted saying this: "Do not initiate greetings with the Jews and Christians. When you meet any of them in the road, then make him take its narrowest path." This is what Muhammad is commanding his fellow Muslims to do to the Jews and Christians. First, they are commanded not to greet Jews and Christians. Now, such a person cannot even greet you, but he wants your money. This is wonderful, of course. So this is what Muhammad commands his followers to do to the Jews and Christians. But what Jesus said when he was on earth, let me quote here and hear what Jesus said. If you read in the Gospel according to Matthew chapter 6 verse 21, is very short but very important. Jesus Christ says, "For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also." That is from the NIV. For where your treasure is, there your heart will be also. What does it mean? What does Jesus mean here? If your heart is with the Islamic finance or Islamic banking, do you think your treasure will be with Jesus? Do you think your treasure will be with God? No. Your treasure also will go to your heart also will abide with where your treasure is. That is Islamic banking. But let me tell you something. You can hear Muslims say, you can hear them saying, we operate this Islamic banking under the non-interest banking system. Is this true? Let me tell you something. By just Muslims eliminating the word interest or the word usury, interest and usury, in the sentence, in the Islamic economy, they hide something very important, which you must know. Let me tell you. In Islam, they have three schemes. They have more than three, but the most popular are only three. The first one is called mudaraba. Mudaraba, this is cost sharing. Cost sharing, that means one must be a financer and the other must be an entrepreneur. So in the Islamic economy, most of the time, they would like that their client must be the financer and the bank becomes an entrepreneur. Why? Because I said that this finance is based on the Islamic principles. So when they offer or they give money to other person or to non-Muslims, obviously they fear that that person will spend that money without complying to the Islamic Sharia. So to them, that is a very loss, because they want even every single cent from the Islamic banking must go to further Islam in the world. That is scheme number one. When you come to scheme number two, they have what they call Murabaha bi Thamanin Ajil. Murabaha bi Thamanin Ajil is what they call cost plus. Remember, I told you that they have just eliminated the word interest or riba in their statements, yet they have this cost plus. How do they do this cost plus? Okay, let's say that you want to buy something, but you don't have enough money. Then you go to ask for a loan with the Islamic banking. So there, at first what they see, they check if that particular commodity or product you want to buy complies with the Islamic Sharia. If it does, then they take the money themselves to go to the market and buy the same product. When they have bought, they come to resell to you in a loan that will pay for a certain time of period. So what they do there, now that very particular product has now become a commodity, not a financial service, has now become a commodity. And as you know that every commodity has some levies or taxes imposed on that commodity. So all these taxes now comes to the burden of the borrower. And that is you. That's how they do. So which means now, they take the profit, which are they going to get from that particular product, they resell it to you. And then again, the profit of the money they have taken from bank to go and buy that particular product. So there, if you try to calculate, you will see that what they call profit must be thricefold or fourthfold comparing to the interest which can be offered by the conventional banks. So they have eliminated the word riba or interest, but they do this as a backdoor riba through cost plus, which is higher than the normal price. And another one which is most popular in most areas is musharaka. Musharaka is 2 or 3 persons put together their capitals and they do that business all together. But mudharaba, one is a financer, another is an entrepreneur. Now, with all these schemes, now what is the problem that now I want you to know, which Islamic banking do not tell their clients upon opening accounts in their banks? Especially, let me now go to the Jews and Christians. It's like this. Number one, a non-Muslim is not allowed to spend the money which comes from the Islamic banking in any business or transaction which has the connection